American Civil War Colonel Ambrosio José Gonzalez. Colonel Ambrosio José Gonzalez was born in Matanzas, Cuba. He was a colonel in the Confederate Army during the American Civil War, as well as a Cuban revolutionary general. Ambrosio's father was a schoolmaster and founder of a newspaper, and his mother was from a distinguished family in Matanzas. Ambrosio's father sent him to Europe and New York for his education, and he also studied in the University of Havana. After his studies, he returned to Matanzas, where he was a teacher. In 1848, Ambrosio joined a group in Havana with the intention of annexing Cuba to the United States and liberating the island of Spanish rule, and Ambrosio authored a manifesto to that end. The group was encouraged by the expansion of the U.S. and their acquisition of Texas on December 29, 1845. This revolutionary group was in favor and also used financial, diplomatic, and military strategies to reach their objectives. In 1849, Ambrosio José Gonzalez became a United States citizen due to a law that was offered to whites that had lived in the country for 3 years before the age of 21. His group in Havana, La Junta de Havana, commissioned him to recruit General William J. Worth and to secure 5,000 North American veterans for an invasion of Cuba that would add support for General Narciso López de Oriola's patriots on the island. But the plan came to an end as General William J. Worth died unexpectedly. General Narciso López de Oriola was born in Caracas, Venezuela on November 2, 1797. His family was of Basque origin and they were wealthy merchants. In 1814, Narciso was conscripted at a young age by General José Tomás Boves and fought many battles. Narciso attained the rank of colonel in the Spanish army in Venezuela at the age of 31 and later held administrative positions in Spain. Narciso was later stationed in Cuba as an assistant to the Captain General but lost his position due to political reasons with the change of governorship on the island. By 1843, Narciso became pro-Cuban independence. General Narciso López, along with Ambrosio, would attempt to liberate Cuba multiple times from 1849 through 1851. General López recruited Cuban exiles in New York as well as other soldiers in favor of his cause. In 1849, he had 600 volunteers at Round Island, Mississippi, ready to deploy. The then U.S. President Zachary Taylor stopped them as he was against their efforts. Zachary Taylor did not believe in manifest destiny as a foreign policy, nor the expansion of slavery in the territories. After his plans were halted, General Narciso López continued his recruiting efforts in the southern United States with people such as Senator Jefferson Davis and the then Major Robert E. Lee, but they did not become involved. Narciso López did acquire financial and political support of many prominent Southerners, such as Governor John Quitman of Mississippi. Many in the South saw Cuba as an opportunity to expand their strength by adding the island as another state in the Union in the context of manifest destiny and institutional slavery. In May 1850, General Narciso López, along with Ambrosio, reached Cuba and began their campaign. They had a Kentucky regiment led by Colonel Theodore O'Hara, along with his 230 volunteers and many other soldiers totaling over 600 men. They managed to capture Cárdenas in Matanzas, and they were flying the battle flag designed by Narciso and Ambrosio, which would become the Cuban flag. The flag was carried by a Kentuckian, William Redding. The campaign failed with lack of support by locals as well as being outmatched by the Spanish. Narciso, Ambrosio, and their soldiers returned to their ship and retreated to Key West, being chased by the Spanish. Faced a federal grand jury under the law of neutrality, but there were no convictions. Due to his involvement, Mississippi Governor John Quitman resigned from his office and also had to face trial, but charges were dropped. In August 1851, Narciso López and Ambrosio again set out for Cuba with mostly Americans as well as exiles from Hungary, Germany, and some Cubans, but they were captured by the Spanish forces, and General Narciso López, among with others, were executed. Some were sent to mining labor camps. Afterwards, Ambrosio José Gonzalez settled in Beaufort, South Carolina. He continued his efforts for Cuban independence, meeting with important people such as President Franklin Pierce and Secretary of War Jefferson Davis. He became a firearms sales agent, demonstrating and selling revolvers and rifles to state legislatures across the American South. During that era, Ambrosio married Harriet Rutledge Elliott from a prominent family in South Carolina. Her father was Senator William Elliott. They had 6 children: Ambrosio, Narciso, Alfonso, Gertrude, Benigno, and Anita Rutledge Elliott Gonzalez. At the start of the American Civil War, Gonzalez joined the Confederate Army as a volunteer staff under General P.G.T. Beauregard, who had been his classmate in New York. Ambrosio took part on the attack of Fort Sumter, which announced the start of the Civil War. Ambrosio was mentioned in a dispatch from Beauregard. To my volunteer staff, Chisholm, Wigfall, Chestnut, Manning, Miles, Gonzalez, and Pryor, I am indebted for their indefatigable and valuable assistance night and day during the attacks on Sumter, transmitting in open boats my orders when called upon, with alacrity and cheerfulness to the different batteries amidst falling balls and bursting shells. At the time, Gonzalez submitted coastal defense plans for consideration, and was then commissioned as Lieutenant Colonel of Artillery and assigned as Inspector of Coastal Defenses. Major Danville Ledbetter wrote of Ambrosio's plans: "The project of auxiliary coast defense herewith, as submitted by Colonel A. J. Gonzalez, though not thought to be everywhere applicable, is believed to be of great value." In 1862, he was promoted to Colonel-in-Chief of Artillery for Carolina, Georgia, and Florida, under General John C. Pemberton. Ambrosio defended against Union gunboats attempting to destroy railways and other strategic points across the Carolina coast by adding carriages to heavy artillery so they could be repositioned with greater ease. On November 30th, 1864, Gonzalez was artillery commander at the Battle of Honey Hill, which was fought in Savannah, Georgia, led by General Sherman. Colonel Ambrosio José Gonzalez was declined promotion to general various times due to him being under General Beauregard, as Confederate President Jefferson Davis disliked the general. Davis also didn't consider Ambrosio for the position, as he had failed to take Cuba. After the war, Ambrosio worked in the U.S. for a time, and in 1869 resettled in Cuba with his family. His wife, Harriet Elliott Gonzalez, died of yellow fever, and Ambrosio returned to South Carolina with his children. Colonel Ambrosio José Gonzalez died on July 31, 1893, in New York.